Today I'm going to teach you an easy beginner's method for creating an illustrated character from any photo in Adobe Illustrator. And as my gift to you, I've included a free download of my Adobe Illustrator file with the finished product in the description below, in case you want to follow along step by step. For this tutorial, all you need is a computer and Adobe Illustrator installed. If you use another software, you can still follow along. The basic techniques that I'm going to teach are the same across any software. And side note, my favorite way to work is using the trackpad on my laptop, but if you like to use a mouse, a tablet, an iPad, that's totally fine too. Okay, so let's dive in. So first things first, you'll want to find yourself a reference image. You can use the same one that I'm using if you like. I'll leave a link in the description below as well. Or you can find your own. Websites like Unsplash and Pexels are my favorite sources for royalty-free images, so you can safely use them in your work and not worry about copyright issues. And of course, you can always use photos that you've taken yourself too. Okay, so let's open up Adobe Illustrator. Find the image you chose and simply drag and drop like so. Next, we want to resize the artboard. Select it by hitting Shift-O on your keyboard. Now you want to go inside your Properties panel, resize your artboard to 1080 pixels by 1350 pixels. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but this is a pretty standard size. And side note, if you ever can't find a particular panel, just go up to Window and you'll find it in there. Now just resize the image to fit on your artboard, holding down the Shift key as you do so it keeps the ratio locked. And now navigate over to your Layers panel and lock this layer. This is going to stop us from accidentally moving it around. Now create a new layer over the top by clicking this button here. And this is where you're going to create your shape layers. Now, one big mistake that I see a lot of beginners make when they're starting out is that they'll go in and start tracing every single tiny element or detail of their photo like this. But this is absolutely not the look we're going for. Anyone can trace a photo, and honestly, it really just doesn't look that good. Instead, you want to focus on creating simple, minimal shapes. So, to start off, select your shape tool with your fill turned on. And side note, you can toggle between the fill and stroke here. And as for the color selection, for now, there's no need to get caught up in the exact colors. We can refine them later down the road. So, using your shapes, you can start to block out some simple forms just as I'm doing here. I'm using the ellipse for the eyes, the ear, and the overall shape of the head. Now, obviously, we want this face shape to sit behind the eyes, and to do that, you need to navigate to Object, Arrange, and in here we can select Send to Back. I usually use the keyboard shortcuts for this. For Macs, it's Shift, Command, and then the back or front square bracket, depending if you want to send to the back or front. I highly recommend that you remember this shortcut. It will save you so much time. Now, just so we can see everything that's happening behind this shape, it's a good idea to temporarily turn this fill shape into a stroke. You'll see that I do this a lot during the whole process. Okay, so now we know how to use shapes, but the main tool that we're going to be using is the pen tool. And I know a lot of people get frustrated by the pen tool, but trust me on this. Once you get the hang of it, it will become your best friend. In fact, if you'd like, I'd be happy to make a whole other separate video on using the pen tool. If I get at least 10 people commenting below that they want me to make that video, I'll do it. Okay, so now for the facial features. You'll see that I'm using the pen tool with just the stroke selected to create very simple smooth lines just like this. Have your stroke panel open during this process. Again, if you don't have it on your screen yet, you can access it by navigating to Window and selecting Stroke. And I'm just going to pull this into my side panel to keep it looking neat. In your strokes panel, you can push the line weight up or down to create your desired thickness. You can also choose to have your strokes be round or square cap. I'm going to stick with square for this piece, but pick whatever you like the look of most. So I'll just go ahead and finish drawing in the lines on the facial features. You'll notice that I'm keeping my strokes fairly thick and I'm not using many different shades of color. The aim is to keep the color palette very minimal. Now, in addition to your lines, you also want to use the pen tool to create the rest of your shapes. So with your fill selected, start drawing out the basic shapes of your character. So I mentioned before, limit yourself to as few anchor points as you can. These points here are your anchor points, and these are your anchor handles. And they allow us to tweak and refine our shapes to get them exactly how we want them. A tool that will also come in super handy in this process is the Smooth tool, which, just to demonstrate on the side, can help us smooth out and simplify any jagged or uneven lines or points that you may have accidentally created. I use the Smooth tool on almost every shape or line that I create. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in the rest of the shapes on the head. And I know that so far this isn't looking great, but trust the process, it will get better. So hopefully you're getting a hang for how to create basic shapes. I'm also going to go ahead and do the same for the body. And the main trick here is that we want to use simple, clean shapes for each part or section. So for example, the top of the arm is going to be its own shape, and the bottom is going to be its own shape too. This is going to make things way easier for us later down the road. Again, I can't stress this enough. In this process, we're not trying to capture any details. We're just drawing out very simple block shapes. Okay, so I'm going to speed up this process, but you'll notice that as I'm going, I'm making different parts of the body different colors. This is just so I can see if I'm layering things in the right order. And this will also hopefully make it a lot easier for you to see exactly how I'm drawing each layer. And for now, I'm just going to ignore the snake. We'll draw that in later once the body is done and we're happy with how our character looks overall. Look, again, I am fully aware that this looks awful. Don't stop the video here. It will start to come together soon. Okay, so once you have all your main content in here, you can turn off your reference image and make your shapes the color that you want them to be. And now the next step in the process is to start resizing and tweaking different parts of your composition. So, for example, I'm going to make the eyes bigger. I'm going to refine the shape of the head and anything else that I feel needs a little bit of tweaking. This is when your own artistic eye comes into play. You need to start moving things around to test out what looks good to you. Think of this as giving your character a makeover. You want to be fine-tuning every single little detail until it looks good to you. And now it might make a little more sense why I was so strict with not using a lot of anchor points. If we had used lots and lots of anchor points, this process would be almost impossible. Now, be sure to allow yourself as much time as you need for this process, and don't be afraid to let your own style shine through. Take this chance to really play around. I also chose to really exaggerate the dress, giving it more of a bubble look. I decided to curve up the bottom slightly like this because I thought it would be really cool to be able to see the back inside of the skirt, just to give it a bit more dimension. And that leads me to another thing. I want to add some legs to my character, but as we know, the reference image is cut off right here. So instead, what we can do is look for another photo to reference the legs off. Or if you're comfortable, you can also try to draw the legs in yourself. This is a bit more advanced, so don't beat yourself up if you don't feel like you're ready to do this yet. If you like, you can also just grab the legs that I created in the download and use those, or leave them out altogether. It's totally optional. I also went ahead and made the artboard longer so that I can fit the legs in. You may have also noticed that I've started to add in strokes to help separate certain areas. So, for example, an area like this could really benefit from just a simple line like this, so you can tell that these are two separate body parts. And shadows can also really help achieve the same thing. So you'll see that I'm just going to create a simple shadow under the neck like this. And I'll also do one where the finger overlaps the arm too. Okay, so now that I'm pretty happy with the overall look of this, it's time to add a few extra details. First up, I'm going to create some strokes on the hair like so. And next, it's time to draw the snake. I'm going to turn on the visibility of the reference image, turn off the visibility of the character layer, and create a new layer over the top and draw the snake here. I'm also giving it some details, and then tweaking the anchor handles to make sure that the snake sits perfectly on our character. I've also added a few subtle shadows under the snake too. Okay, now to add some patterns. I know that I want to add a pattern to all parts of the dress as well as the snake. So what I'm going to do is duplicate each of these layers. So I can do that by selecting the shape and going to Edit, Copy, and then selecting Edit again and selecting Paste in Place. Or if you want to save time, you can use the keyboard shortcut Command-C and then Command-F. And you'll see that that's just created an extra copy right over the top. Okay, so now select all of the top layers of the dress. You can do that by holding down the Shift key as you select the different shapes. Now open up your swatches panel. And in the bottom left, click on this icon. This will open up your swatches library. And there's a lot to pick from here, but we're specifically looking for the snakeskin pattern. So go down to Patterns, Nature, Nature_animal skins. And in here, go to the menu icon and select Large Thumbnail View, just so you can see better. And now just select the snakeskin pattern, and you'll see that's not looking great yet. First, you'll probably want to scale the pattern way up. So to do that, with all your pattern shapes selected, go up to Object, Transform, Scale, and in here, make sure Transform Objects is deselected and Transform Patterns is selected. And just start playing with the scale percentage, being sure to check the preview to see what it looks like. Hit OK once you're happy with the size of the pattern, and now it's time to rotate it. So go to Object, Transform, Rotate, and in here again, make sure that Transform Objects is deselected and Transform Patterns is selected. And fine-tune that rotation until you're happy. And now all that's left to do is to blend the pattern with the color underneath. And to do that, all you need to do is open up your transparency panel, and with your shape selected, go ahead and select a blending mode. I use multiply, but you can also test out the different blending modes to see if there's something you like the look of better. And for the snake, you can just use the eyedropper tool to apply that same pattern from the dress. I'm also going to rotate the pattern on the snake so it doesn't look like the pattern is connected to the dress. And instead of a multiply blending mode, I'm going to select soft light and perhaps turn down the opacity just so it's a little more subtle. So now you are more than ready to go ahead and start making different variations of your character. So to do that, I'm going to select Shift-O to select the artboard. And by holding the Option key down and dragging it to the side, that's going to create a duplicate of our character. I'm going to select that duplicate, create a new layer, and in the Layers panel, I'm going to drag this little colored box onto that new layer we just created and lock the other layer we had. This just means that I won't be able to touch or move anything on that original layer. And now we can go ahead and start adjusting how that copy looks. To easily change the skin color without selecting each shape individually, all you need to do is select one of the shapes, navigate to Select, Same, and select Fill Color. And you'll see that everything with that color is now mask selected. So if we want to change that skin color, we can do that all in one hit. And you can see that you'll also need to change the color of the shadows and the strokes. And you can also easily do that again by going to Select, Same, and this time picking Stroke Color. You get the gist. So here's my variation of this character that I created earlier. You can start to have fun with the objects she's holding, her outfits. You can go crazy with this. It's so much fun, and most importantly, this process is without a doubt going to help you improve your skills as an illustrator. Now, if you plan on trying or have already tried this tutorial, tag me on Instagram, TikTok, or Shorts. I'll link my socials in the description. I am beyond excited to see what you create. Nothing makes me happier than when people show me what they created as a result of watching my tutorials. And not to be that person, but make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to be dropping so many incredible beginner-focused tutorials to help you level up in your illustration practice this year. So if your goal is to get better at illustration, hit subscribe right now. Your future self will thank you for it. All right, bye for now.